Hi, I'm Sharon Hales. I am at another Foothills Finds in the area. I didn't even know it was a Foothills Finds till my friend Mike Lawler told me I needed to come film at Dunsmore Park. Mike Lawler is the founder of the Historical Society of the Crescenta Valley. And he started out as president, and now he is just their tour guide extraordinaire. And he writes fabulous articles in our local paper, and he's keeping the history of the Crescenta Valley very well in records. He's got a whole running chronology of the events of our incredible community. So today we are at Dunsmore Park, where a lot of people have come, but you would be surprised, as I am, to find what is actually here. So Mike, tell us what we're looking at today.
Okay. So we're looking at this kind of weird assemblage art style here, and it's made of minerals from all over the country. It's made up of cast-off building material. It's made up of kitchen utensils, machinery. Everything's mixed together, kind of like the Watts Towers are, kind of an assemblage type of thing. Now, the story behind all this is pretty interesting. Now, this started out in the 30s as the Mount Lucan Sanitarium. It was carved out of the sagebrush for a tubercular sanitarium. They built two buildings. They built one that was over here, which is gone now, and they built another one over here, which is now the community center. Nice to know that used to be a tubercular sanitarium, isn't it? Yeah. So it ran for a while as a tubercular sanitarium. And then in 1946, a guy by the name of Milton Hoffert bought the property. Now, Milton's a great story in himself. He was the heir to the Hoffert Manufacturing Company, which was a prominent Los Angeles manufacturing company. So he was a rich kid. In the 20s, he got in trouble with the law. He ended up in the merchant marine, kind of the prodigal son kind of thing. He went off, traveled the world. He met a foreign bride, brought her back to the United States. They were going to start a family, and she died in childbirth along with his child. And it seems to maybe have put him over to the edge. That's just a supposition. 1946, he bought the Mount Lucan Sanitarium and named it the Dunsmore Sanitarium. Now, he wasn't a doctor. He didn't have a medical background. So obviously somebody else ran it, and there were patients here and things like that. What Milton did, though, was apparently lived in a pup tent on the property and built miles and miles of these bizarre walls out of just found material, things that he had collected, and apparently collected from all over the United States. For 10 years, he built miles and miles of these walls, and they're all over Dunsmore Park. And you can walk the entire perimeter of the park, and they just never end. So for 10 years, he built all these walls, and then in 1957, he suddenly lost interest, sold it to the city of Glendale for a park at a fraction of the price that it should have gone for. Then, at that point, he takes off to Big Bear, and he does the same thing up there. He started a kid's place called Holiday Hill, and they had rides and things like that. He did the same thing there. He built crazy walls and strange assemblages of art, and he did that for a couple of decades up there. And then when he was 100 years old, he gave Holiday Hill to the city of Big Bear, and they built their city hall there, taking down all his walls, by the way. These are the walls that exist. I think Glendale did a good thing by keeping them.
So I'm going to have you get a shot of the sanitarium over there, and I wondered what the patients were thinking as they saw the owner living in a pup tent building crazy walls for 10 years. And maybe that's where the saying came from, the inmates are running the asylum.
So you see a lot of stuff that's just cast off, maybe junk that the guy found in the trash. Here's the burner on a stove, and right next to it, a muffin tin. So, and look at these amazing minerals. These are not from around here. I think this is copper. Here's some volcanic material. This is kind of weird, like ore type stuff that you might find up in Northern California. I mean, where was he getting this stuff?
So Mike, I'm just astounded at how many walls there are. I've brought my kids to Dunsmore Park for years and had no idea. How many feet of wall space do you think there is?
I think there's miles. I actually think there's miles because it takes the entire perimeter of the park. This park's like 3 or 4 acres. And sometime, it's worth just coming here and walking the entire wall. There's stuff all the way along, including occasionally you'll find a date written in it. I found several from the 50s.
For more information on the Historical Society of the Crescenta Valley, visit cvhistory.org. Be sure to come visit the walls at Dunsmore Park. Some would say they're crazy, some would say they're very artistic. Either way, they'd make a great scavenger hunt activity for a birthday party or for your family. Thanks for sharing Foothills Finds with us.